Welcome back to North and North podcast.
It's
As
North to
always,
North. You already fucked it up.
God damn it, Matt. Gotcha.
So we're keeping it.
Or we can keep it on. Okay.
3,
All right, fuck it.
2, 1.
All right, welcome back to North podcast. Jose here. We got Matt, Nino as always, and I'd like to introduce our special guest here, Nikki P, founder of Viva La Hip Hop. He's going to go ahead and this is actually our first guest that successfully joined. So shout out to Nick there. Nick, you want to introduce yourself? How you know the group?
Yeah, I'm Nick, aka Nicky. I've known these guys for close to 20 plus years. Nino the longest, Jose. I currently work with Jose. I sat next to Matt for the majority of my career. And it's funny because you guys have this podcast and I listen to it almost like weekly. To be honest, I when I drop my kids off at basketball, I just sit in my car and I just listen to you guys. I'm just like, and it's funny because you guys will say something and I kind of want to reply. I'm like, I'm listening to my friends talk, but they can't hear me. So yeah, I'm thankful for the invite.
Nothing's different.
yeah. I was just like, no, Jose has it wrong.
Oh shit. You do want to make it onto the final cut, right?
Business as usual.
Yeah, but I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on, Nikki P, and especially all the good words that you've been listening in. I honestly appreciate that because I think
you guys a thumbs up, the like.
I think honestly his credibility has already gone out the window because nobody listens to us every week.
Nikki P, apparently. I know he's
I have a list of podcasts and YouTubes that I watch and listen to daily, and you guys are kind of up there. And I listen a lot.
Nice.
You're too kind, Nikki P. Too kind.
There you go. Right on.
So
let's go ahead and kick it up. Yes, let's go ahead and kick it off there. Nikki P, we were discussing last episode a couple of maybe not necessarily dove deep into the conspiracy theories, but like the missing people from the national state parks. And I was just told we might have some ghost stories here too. You want to go ahead and rip off that?
So I was always a non-believer of like the ghosts, or especially UFOs and ghosts in general. I've always wanted to see a ghost, but I never saw one. UFOs were kind of out there for me. But somebody told me about this book called Missing 411, and I tried to look it up on Amazon, maybe about before Netflix and Amazon Prime, and the book was like over $100. I'm like, I didn't want to spend that much to read stories of these weird things. Yeah, so I found it on Amazon, and I was able to read the example pages, so it was like 1 or 2 pages. Yeah, well, it's funny, and then I was just like, okay, like, because it was like weird stuff, like a lot of them would be kids missing in national forest, and they would find the kid like 7-10 miles away from the location last seen, and they'd be perfectly fine, barefoot, no scrapes, no bruises or anything. And it wasn't so much of a missing person, but it was just a weird phenomenon. And then till recently, that same Missing 411 book came out with a movie, and that kind of totally blew my mind. So it's out there. There's 2 of them. I listened to this guy's YouTube, and he just announced that they're coming out with a 3rd one. So it's a lot of them are in national forest parks. The hot spots are Crater Lake over here, and Yosemite. So that's why I was asking you, Alex, when you were down there camping if you heard
Yeah.
any UFO Bigfoots hovering around or any echoes, because that's a big one out there.
See, I had no idea it was a big one. I kind of actually am upset that you didn't tell me that when I was there. Like you just
Yeah,
said,
I
hey,
mean, I
have you heard
kind
of
of
the
don't want to
Bigfoot?
scare
And I'm
anybody,
like,
but
no, I
because
haven't.
everybody
Yeah.
gets scared when I tell them that there's a UFO Bigfoot or something out there that is either
Are there
prowling on people.
specific spots in those parks where it typically happens, or is it just random spots?
Um, I've heard 2 cases so far. Well, in Yosemite, where there was a group of guys were camping, and all of a sudden they would just hear these weird sounds, and they would be communicating just like in howls and banging, and they would respond back in the same way. And but they never saw what they were, or there was no like physical proof of that they were there. They just heard them. And then there was another instance where I think there was this, I could get the story wrong or mixed up, but there was this lady with a group of people. She went out to a clearing just to look over the meadow, and then within seconds nobody found her. And that was like, I think that was like kind of like in the parking lot area. So I don't know. I want to go.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
mean,
Now there
it's the middle of
was
the mountain.
an incident where they found Matt barefoot, and something was happening around a camp. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
Sounds about
Matt,
right.
you want to share?
They
I think that was
found
the
the
summer
empty
of
bottle
08.
of vodka at the same time, right? And it was explained away as that.
That was the missing disappearance. It's like, where did all the vodka go?
Where'd the vodka go was the question.
Yeah, there you go.
They found it later in
But
the bushes where I hurled
see,
it up.
that's crazy though that Nick said that that disappearance of the lady happened. I'm assuming it's the meadow in like the valley in Yosemite Valley, and
Yeah, I mean,
like that's a pretty popular area. So
yeah, I mean, a
there'd be
lot
a
of them
lot of
date
people out
back.
there.
A lot of them date back from like maybe like 60s, 70s. But I mean,
Okay.
if you guys want to chip in, we could get that book and we could read all about it. But so far, I've only seen 2 stories and just the movies. But I mean, I'm super interested. I also heard that Berryessa, that's like the go-to spot to see UFOs at night, which is crazy because I would always go there like 15 years ago and party, but I was also in a different state of mind too. So
So you saw UFOs, but they were just a different type.
yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, because what brought all this up, Nick, I don't know if you saw it, we just posted it, but there was a story, and it was 1969. It was this kid named Dennis Martin that went missing in the Appalachian Mountains. So I looked into it a little bit more. It was actually a pretty big deal. They called in the National Guard and everything. They had like, thousands of people searching for this kid after he disappeared. Basically, the dad was watching him play, and he went behind a bush and then was never seen again.
Yeah.
And
I mean, a lot of them are like that.
And there was people that heard like a death-defying scream or whatever, a family, and then they saw like, the kid the kid with the family thought it was a bear running off with somebody, and then the dad's like, no, that's a person, blah blah blah. So, I mean, who knows what happened, but the kid still hasn't been found, obviously. So, but there's bad storms and everything, so there's all kinds of different theories about what could have happened to him.
So, Nick, as our official expert on this, like, what do you think is the reason? Like, is there, I guess, if you had to give a reason to why these disappearances happen, like, what do you think happened? Because I think I would take your opinion.
So my theory is, which is I didn't want to believe, but after listening to all these stories and all these podcasts, I feel like there is definitely UFOs, and they could also be, I hate to say it, in the form of a Bigfoot. And they have like portals.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Kind of, and they have like portals in these areas that aren't highly populated, or there's like a high amount of traffic.
Yeah.
And just random people so.
Yeah, because I've seen
now, have any of you guys? Oh, go ahead.
No, I've seen where you guys were talking about on Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if you guys seen anything about that. That's where
Mhm.
like
Is that a nudist colony in
potentially
Florida?
alien. Why are you interested? You want the
That's what I
website?
figured.
Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up
yeah,
right after
Asking for a
this.
friend.
no, so there'll be like out researching all these different phenomenons, and the one guy saw like a portal open up, and like this like beast come running at him, and then it just disappeared before it got him, or went right by him, or something like that. And like just weird shit like that that's happening. Cow mutilations, all that normal BS. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I believe it.
so, have you guys seen on Netflix? I know it's somewhat on topic, but it's just it's a movie that with Sam Elliott called "The Man Who Killed Hitler and the Bigfoot."
No, I
Nah.
haven't seen that
No,
one.
on
Yeah,
Netflix,
I
no.
watched it. It was actually really good, really good. It follows the story of this guy, Sam Elliott. And he killed Hitler, and then later in his life, he was called in to kill Bigfoot. And then Bigfoot's like this. The army wanted him taken out because he was like this diseased beast out there in the forest or whatever.
What?
Oh
But
wow.
it was like a
Oh
weird
wow.
looking Bigfoot. It was actually a really good movie. Like I would, I'll try to find the link and send it to you guys
Yeah, I'm gonna
if I can find
check
out
that
what
out.
platform it's on.
I
Yeah.
will say the one thing I've definitely learned about Matt doing this podcast is like he puts that Netflix account to full use. Like I think I
We
watch like
already do.
maybe 2 or 3 series a year, and I'm like, man, why am I even paying for this any longer? But like Matt, he gets his money's worth out of Netflix. In fact, I think like he's probably the reason they keep upping the damn monthly fees on this shit because
We
Matt's
got
like
Matt to thank for that.
yeah, we can't produce
Probably
enough
not as
shows because this guy keeps running it through every single one that we
We're
put out.
probably not as much
we're
as you guys
podcasting
taking
with like the
chats.
number one shareholder there of Netflix.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
yeah, there's so much content in Netflix right now. It's crazy to
Mhm.
keep up with everything.
Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Very
so to
true.
go back to what you were talking about earlier, Nick, because it really interested me. Is so when you said there was a UFO as Bigfoot or as like so you're saying like this
I, I
UFO.
I feel like they could be
Mhm.
they're UFOs, but they appeared to look like Bigfoot, or maybe have I don't know. Maybe that could be like their shape shifting form
Okay.
as like maybe they see bears and maybe like, oh, I'll
Mhm.
be one of those, but
I see.
not
Yeah,
really.
Or,
I
or
like
maybe
that theory,
possibly
dude.
like projecting like a two like they want to be Tupac, so they do like a projection like that kind of
I mean,
so
like
they
a
go to
that route
hologram,
Coachella,
too.
have a
maybe.
good time.
Yeah, or like yeah. I mean,
I
because
don't
then
know.
I could dig that. I'm like, all right, these disappearances have at least a good valid reason because if these UFOs are coming down and putting on a nice show where Tupac's in
Yeah, I mean,
virtual
I
form,
mean,
I'm all
it's
for it.
it's funny because like I always want to go to Yosemite, and
Mhm.
like my wife and my kids really know the real reason why I want to go to Yosemite because I want to find Bigfoot
Well,
or these
if it's
portals.
any if it's any consolation now, Nick, next time I go, I'm leaving my family just so we can go to Yosemite
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm down to start looking for
yeah.
these
I mean,
portals
we
too.
just gotta maybe like tie us a rope between us and make sure one of us don't get lost.
Oh my god,
Yeah, I
I
Bigfoot's
would
want to see
actually
love
that.
pretty
Just
popular up here.
to
what's
see
that?
what other people's look. Okay,
I said
Bigfoot's
Bigfoot's
popular then.
actually pretty popular up here. Like a lot of people have in
Hmm.
their yards, like just like the silhouette of
Oh
Bigfoot in their
yeah,
front yard and that. And they have a
yeah.
big
Yeah,
meeting up here once a year for Bigfoot hunters.
dude.
I
Next year. Wait,
mean,
when is it? So
I
we
missed
have
it.
to
It
come
was a
up.
couple weeks. It was a couple months ago, two
Oh,
months ago, I think.
so let's start planning now. 12 months in advance.
Hey,
We're going to the
you do it.
Bigfoot convention. We'll do our podcast
2023.
from there. On
Yeah.
23, hell
we
yeah.
could stop. We could stop at Yosemite.
It
Yeah,
might be a
hey,
prime. It
we'll
might be a
stop.
prime location though too, because you got the Northern Lights up here. So if we go from a little
Hmm.
bit further
Oh
north up to
shit,
Canada, you got the Northern Lights. So maybe some alien activity and a little Bigfoot activity. So it could be a
Well, I
nice.
good
mean, what's
Say
plan.
funny
that.
is like they were saying like all these missing cases and all these people that go missing. There's like certain characteristics that each one have in common. for instance, they're all like located near like a body of water, or they find out like all of them have like some type of disability that
Mhm.
they knew or they didn't know. So
So we got
Be careful,
Jose,
Matt.
so that works.
Be careful,
No,
Matt.
no,
I saw Jose's
we're
eyes
checking all the
light up.
boxes right now.
Now we know what's going to happen if Matt isn't available for the podcast next week.
Yeah, no wonder we weren't abducted. We're missing somebody.
Oh my God. No, but I was going to bring that up. I was going to ask you about that if you guys have heard anything about like UFO sightings related to water, because I like there's like a theory that I had heard that they use water to travel in, like a lot of people out on sea, they'll see something, a UFO of some kind, and then it'll all of a sudden go into the water, or vice versa, where something will come up out of the water, and I don't know, kind of brings you into the whole hollow earth conspiracy as well. A whole bunch of stuff, dude. But I used to not believe in any of it, but I definitely think there's something out there. Who knows what it is, but the water, I really do think there's something going on with that there.
Well, they say we've only discovered like, what, 60% of the ocean, 40%, whatever it is, like that there could be a lot of hidden shit down there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's like
Well, wasn't there just like a thing, like the guy they thought that they knew where the bottom of the ocean was, but then realized that there's more, like it was like a false bottom.
Yeah.
Didn't hear about that?
I didn't hear about that, but I
You're
can
gonna have to
imagine
educate me
that.
on that.
Yeah. God knows what the hell's living down there.
Okay.
Right.
The
Yeah,
kaiju.
I mean, well, there's like that other theory where like, what's in the middle of like Antarctica? Have you guys heard of that one?
No.
Like,
Oh, what is that?
No, like nobody's ever crossed like the middle of it because it's supposed to be like off, like restricted area.
That's
Could be a whole-
that I've heard of that in terms of the hollow earth theory. Like that might actually be like, even here's a good segue here for you, Nick. Google Maps, like, isn't there like not an actual picture above the center of Antarctica? Like it's all covered up, right?
I think so, yeah.
And are you gonna change that on Pongo Maps?
I'll go there tonight.
There we go.
There we go.
You gotta let us know what you find over there, man.
And just for the viewers watching in, what is Pongo Maps again?
Yeah, what is Pongo Maps?
Oh man, so this is an ongoing project of Nick here. This guy, doesn't matter if he hears a story or anything of the sort, within less than 5 minutes, this guy has it pinpointed down the area from Google Earth, and he's showing us the whole neighborhood of whatever crime scene or whatever happened. And we really think he's coming up with his own Pongo Maps.
I remember coming into work one day. I came into work one day, and I knew Nick a little bit, but not too well. And he's like, "Hey Matt, is this your apartment?" Shows it to me. I'm like, "Yep, that's it." He's like, "Oh my God."
I'm a visual learner. I like to put myself in that situation, not physically but mentally.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of like one of the beginning of one of those Netflix series where he's stalking you and all kinds of bad things happen. So I'd watch out, Matt. I'd watch out.
Maybe he's the skinwalker.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in so many places. I just never physically been there.
Hey, Google Maps is a good way to make that happen.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, so to go back to your like Antarctica thing, because I'd never heard of this. So you're saying if you go on Google Maps and you hover over Antarctica, the middle of Antarctica is just like it's grayed out, or You get a
And
404
that's
error
just not
message
like
or
a
something.
transition point or anything?
No,
Or
I mean, I don't think you could cross a certain plane of Antarctica. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look
yeah,
this up afterwards.
it's restricted, dude. Like you can't. There's only one area of Antarctica that you can go to, and that's
Mhm.
like a designated place for like you. It's like a tourist thing. But if
Mhm.
if like we were to get on a boat and try to go down there and explore ourselves, or get on a plane and try to explore, um,
Yeah.
like military and everything is going to come out and just turn us right back around, dude.
what
You can't.
military though? I mean, the Antarctic government?
I
A
think
bunch of
That I
fucking
don't know.
penguins?
we have military down there. I know that for sure. I
Yeah.
had a buddy that was stationed down there.
It's just like a group
Random.
of penguins or something, or like actual military.
Yeah, I mean, there's like
That's
there
their
was like an
logo.
airport. I have no idea.
I
Because
mean, there is some
if
stuff
it's like
that's
Happy
grayed
Feet,
out.
then
I'm
I'm
looking
all
at it
pumped.
right
Let's
now.
go.
Oh, you
Yeah,
look
Yeah.
no,
at
like
maps.
Oh, I'm on there right now. There's stuff that's like grayed out on here, like that, like blacked
Oh
out
wow.
completely.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah.
I would suggest making a trip, but I have no intention of going to Antarctica. So let me
No,
know how it
that's a
goes, guys.
Me
yeah.
too
I'm not
cold.
I
doing
said
that.
I
Too
said we
cold out
go
there.
take the 2 hour drive to Yosemite first, and then
I'm all for that, Nikki P. Let's do that, and we can just
Crater Lake. I
try and
heard Crater
find.
Lake is another hot spot.
I've never been there, so yeah,
Yeah,
definitely let's go to Crater Lake because I've always wanted to go there and I've never been there.
yeah.
I'm down.
Now,
I'm down.
I guess one of my biggest questions about all of this, Nick, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to answer this, being our expert and everything. What's the likelihood for a person of color to be abducted? Because I swear this stuff usually only happens to white people. I just want to know what are my odds
That's
in
just
getting
racist.
abducted.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try to keep an open mind. I want to see a ghost. Nothing ever happens to me. I think I'm just like too much of a believer. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Or I'm just like
I,
I have a strong will, strong spirit.
See,
That's what I believe.
so I think
no,
what he's
I
saying
don't.
there, Nino, is that we have a very high chance of surviving this thing, man.
I like that.
Out of the four
I
people here, I don't know. There's one that kind of
We'll
sticks
see.
out.
We'll see.
Oh, he's disappearing as we speak.
So, do you
I
guys have any ghost stories?
don't segue like that. What kind of bullshit segue
Well,
was that? We were on this topic right now.
I guess maybe I wasn't paying attention. So,
At least you're honest about it.
yeah. Well, Nick brought up earlier before we jumped on here that he,
Mhm.
as a potential topic would be ghost stories. So, do any of you guys have one?
I mean, I just brought it up. I like to listen to ghost stories. I don't have any ghost stories to tell. Sorry.
Yeah, it sounds like you got something, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, has anybody
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
experienced a ghost here? I can't say that I've ever been anywhere where I felt like there was another being in my presence.
I've had it
But
happen twice where my shirt was tugged on and nothing was around.
Okay.
But so,
give us a little bit more detail. So where were
so
we
the
at?
first one
Like,
was my sister's house in Pittsburgh when she was living there. And she was always saying, "Oh, this place is haunted. Lights flicker off and on." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. It's not. It's
yeah.
stupid. Whatever." I didn't take any credit to it. But then I was standing in her door entryway or whatever, just waiting for her to come down, and I feel like a pull on the back of the shirt, and I look around I had to turn around to see who the hell was pulling on my shirt, and there's nobody there. There's nothing there. And the same thing happened the other night when I was in the yard at work. It was probably about 3:30 in the morning. So I'm the only one out there, and I got to hook up some trucks, but I'm just taking my time, and I'm kind of looking up at the stars because you normally don't get to see that. So looking at the stars, just up in the sky, and I feel a tug on my shirt, and I look around like, oh shit, I better get back to fucking work. Yeah, it's a weird feeling, and I felt it actually another time at Zach Bagan's. I know Nick, you met him before. We should put a picture of that up here if we can.
Who?
Ghost Adventures.
The Ghost Adventures.
At his little haunted house in Las Vegas. We went by there.
Oh, you felt something there?
I felt a poke on the side. was there. Yeah.
Poke
Whoa,
fire.
whoa,
On the side,
whoa.
not anywhere else. They're like on the lower, yeah, whatever, lower back.
The lower bottom. I wanted to go there. I don't know if I want to go there anymore.
It was Vegas. I paid extra for it.
Oh, man. So that's 3 pokes in a tug.
No, 2 tugs and a poke.
The good old VIP package. You gotta love it.
What I want to know is, have you talked to your therapist about this? You literally have me in tears, man.
Oh no.
Man.
Um,
That's still a trip though.
so my question
Yeah,
to you though, Matt, is sorry, yeah, you brought me to tears with that last one. My question to you though, Matt, is with the 2 tugs you were talking about earlier, did you feel like it was the same being or entity, or do you think they were different entities, being that they were in different locales?
I don't. That's a good question. I never really thought of it in that
Just think
that
of me
way.
as your
Like,
therapist, Matt. So,
yeah,
do you think they were the
ASMR
same being?
therapist. No,
Yeah.
I don't.
That's-
No, I didn't feel like there was any connection. It was just a weird, like,
Mhm.
But
felt,
you said it was
literally
at your
felt your
sister's
shirt
house?
move. The first one was at my sister's place.
Has she ever experienced anything there?
She did.
Oh, she
talked
has.
about it quite a bit before that, and
Yeah.
it's not something I had ever thought about or really gave any like credit to at all. Like I didn't. It was a newer
Yeah.
house and all that, and I didn't take it seriously.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it wasn't even something that was on my mind when I was standing there in that room by myself. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
and definitely wasn't thinking about that when I was down in the yard at 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's a little creepy being down there because there's no
Yeah.
lights or anything like that. But yeah, it's just a weird feeling. Nino, you got
Man.
anything? Jose, nothing?
No, I've never experienced anything like that where, like I said, like a tugging or whatever like that. Or
And see, I'm more of a
um,
believer in aliens, not really ghosts. Like I
mhm.
laugh at the Ghost Adventure show and all that stuff. Whatever, I'll make fun of it and everything. But
Yeah.
I
What about
guess
you, Jose, then?
the closest I've ever come to that is like, being almost like paralyzed when you're sleeping and you can't wake up type thing, and it almost feels
Mhm.
like you're like being held down. Oh God, I opened myself up for
Yeah.
that one. But
Not as bad as Matt's.
you paid extra for that,
right,
didn't you?
yeah. But other than that, I mean, I can't
Mhm.
really think of anything like. I swear, back in like 6th grade or 7th grade, we were playing basketball over in Benicia,
Mhm.
and I looked up, and in between the clouds, I swear to you, I saw what looked like a UFO, and everybody else wasn't looking at that time. So I don't know. That was the closest thing that I came there, but no,
Of course, you're staring at the clouds when you're playing basketball.
Staring right at the
over.
sun. Oh, man.
Were
Exactly.
you picked last that game? Is that why?
What's that?
I said, were you the last person picked during that game? Or,
Right.
Look up there, guys.
I'm sorry, it was just therapist.
Who
It was
invited
therapist
Jose
house.
again?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. Basketball wasn't my first sport. Okay.
There you go. But yeah, so I mean, overall though, I think Ghost. I can't say that I'm a believer. What about you, Nick? So just to make sure we get everybody's opinion. So Matt's not a believer in ghosts, but aliens. I don't believe in ghosts or aliens. Well, aliens I'd probably be more on board with because I just don't know. Jose, ghost or aliens? Both? Yes? No?
I would say both.
Okay. And then Nikki P, what do you think? Ghosts and
I
aliens?
mean,
Both?
I was a believer of ghosts, and definitely as of recently a believer of aliens too.
What about Bigfoot?
I definitely wasn't a believer of Bigfoot, but I mean, who knows now?
Yeah.
Not
I'm gonna
bad,
pass
man.
on Bigfoot. Unless it's like a big truck, like a monster truck. Bigfoot don't exist.
I can't go to those.
That's it. And the Gravedigger. But
Well,
The classics.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we're about up on our time for this one, but we'll come back. We'll bring Nikki back for sure with some more conspiracy theories or
Absolutely.
disappearances, or maybe some more ghost stories. But anything
And
else
I'm
you guys
glad
want
we
to
could.
add?
I'm just glad we could authenticate that there was like that whole section in Antarctica that is missing because I'd never heard of that, and now I'm like really, I'm ready
Yeah,
to dive into this rabbit hole
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna
right
look
after
into
the
that
show.
for sure.
Mhm.
yeah. Be sure to
For
watch
sure.
those videos or those
Yeah,
shows. I think one's
And what
on
was that book called one more time?
Missing 411. Watch it. I think one's free right now on Amazon.
and
Check
it's a
it
cool
out.
hundo,
Nice.
a cool hundo, right?
If you have Amazon Prime, it's free, and you don't have to read
Oh,
anything.
There you go. Right on. Hey, well,
Nice.
Nick,
perfect.
good looking out, man. Glad you came on,
Yeah.
made the
Yeah, thank
time.
you, Nick.
And as always, thanks for the 12 people that are watching there. Shout out to them.
Like and subscribe.
And
Appreciate it, guys.
yep, we'll see you guys next time.
All right, have a good one.
Later.